All right, let's go ahead then and bring this proceeding to order. This is the Fort Myers Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, October 1, 2025, getting underway scheduled a little after 9 a.m. by Zoom teleconference. My name is John Van Lanningham, and I am the Special Magistrate for Fort Myers Beach, and I'll be conducting today's hearings. And I see we've got a number of new violation cases, so we'll get to those shortly. Before we do that, we have a few preliminary matters to attend to. And the first being the approval of the minutes from the September 2, 2025 hearing. Are there any objections to the approval of those minutes?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I hear no objections, so I'll approve the minutes of September 2, 2025. Do we have any status updates concerning compliance cases?
Good morning, Your Honor. Again, my name is Nancy Stupridge. I'm the town attorney for the town of Fort Myers Beach. I got the message to turn the mic on. My name is Nancy Stupridge, as you know, and I am the town attorney for the town of Fort Myers Beach.
I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh, Josh? One more time? Does that one work?
I'm not getting any audio right now.
Your Honor, can you hear this? It's a feed issue.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm still not. Yeah, I'm still not hearing you.
Okay.
I've got no sound.
Can you hear me from this mic?
Yes,
Okay.
that I hear.
We're gonna make some seating arrangements here for you, sir. Hold on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, so we just switched out the mics. Again, very briefly, my name is Nancy Stupridge. I serve as the city attorney, or excuse me, town attorney for the town of Fort Myers Beach. Your Honor, we want to welcome you today. This is our brand-new town hall, and we finally have a permanent home. And this is where all our future hearings will be conducted going forward. So we apologize for the little inconvenience regarding the mic, but we'll get it fixed, and we're very happy to be here.
Yeah, the room looks great.
Excuse me?
Yeah, the room looks great from here.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. We've worked hard, and we're really happy that we're here. Today, before you, Officer Yaza will give you a brief update on, I think, one case as far as it's moving towards compliance. The actual compliance hearing on that case is not until October the 29th. Following that, we have code officers present today. You have 7 cases on your agenda for violations, several of which have come into compliance, which Officer Yazo will address with you as well. The only other matter I just wanted to generally bring to your attention was, as you are aware, in all of our non-compliant structure cases that we have brought to you, we always include an Exhibit B that contains all the information and the correspondence that we've had with FEMA that brought to the attention of the town the fact that these structures were non-compliant. The last letter in all of those cases is dated July of 2025. There has been no additional correspondence, written correspondence. However, there has been ongoing communication with FEMA, just generally speaking, and Officer Yazo can address any questions you have on the specific cases that are before you. And with that, I'd like to defer to Officer Yazo.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thomas Yazzo, Fort Myers Beach Emergency Service Director. I'm also a Code Compliance Director as well. Just some record keeping here. We have one case that you've heard before. It's 134, 138 Connecticut Street, Fort Myers Beach. It's the Beach Baptist Church. As of this morning, they are still not in compliance. That paper will be sent across to you. They're back on the 29th for an update,
Okay.
just so you're aware. Moving on, with some of the other cases, I just want you to be aware of where we're at with FEMA. We were given a generous extension up to the 19th of this month to try to get ourselves into compliance. We've been working hard at that, and that's part of what these proceedings are about. So this morning, we have some good news. We have 3 separate cases which have come into compliance. The first would be, the address on your file would be 7404 Estero Boulevard. I can go through full testimony if you'd like, or I can just give you the update for the affidavit of compliance.
Just the update will be fine.
Okay. So as of yesterday morning, you will see that Leonardo Arms Beach Club 1 at the aforementioned address is now in compliance. The affidavit of compliance was sent forward. We do have representatives here today from that community. If you'd like to hear from them, they can come up and go through what they've done so far. And then I can go through, after you listen to them, we can go through where we're going to be as far as what we're asking for the order, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and bring them up then.
Okay, we're going to have to do a swearing in if we could, please. Sir, if you'd come forward and present your name and ask to be sworn in by the clerk's office.
My name is Fletcher McGarity with Claremont Property Company, the general contractor at Lovers Key Beach, or Leonardo Arms Beach Club 1.
Let's
Go
go ahead and
ahead,
get
Your
you sworn
Honor.
in.
Go ahead,
Would you
Your Honor,
raise
if you
your-
want to do the swear.
If you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. And would you go ahead and state your name again for the record, please?
Fletcher McGarity,
All right. How do you spell your last name?
Megarity.
All right, Mr. McGarity, why don't you proceed?
We had several containers on the property while undergoing property restoration from the hurricane. We have since come into compliance by removing all of those since elevator work and other work has completed. We have no plans of further violating code enforcement on this issue on the property.
All right, very good. And what is the town seeking at this time? I know you'll be filing the affidavit of compliance.
Yes, sir, that should be in the hearing exhibits as we speak. That was sent over to you this morning. So we're asking that you find the violation of sections 6-501, 6-525 of the ASCE 24-14 was a violation as of November 19, 2024. They have now come into compliance, so we can pass through the requiring. We're asking that the court costs of $250 be imposed upon the respondent for the non-timely respect to the code.
All right, so we're only imposing costs at this time?
Yes,
You
sir.
should find it. All right. Mr. McGarry, do you have any response?
That is okay with us.
All right. All right, so that's what we'll do then. We'll make a finding of violation, and we will impose the cost of prosecution in the amount of $250.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the next case that we're going to be going on today, Your Honor, is 269 Driftwood Lane. It's a Top Group Investment LLC is the owner. They've also come into compliance, Your Honor, with their connexes that were on file. I don't know if we have a representative today from Driftwood. It does not appear so. But again, Your Honor, they came into compliance as of the stuff was poured. It was about a week and a half ago is when they came through compliance. We sent the paperwork out to you. And again, Your Honor, we're asking that you find a violation for section 6-501, 6-525, and ASC 24-14 as of July 29th, 2025. And we're also asking for the court fee in the amount of $250 to cover costs.
All right, so it'll be the same outcome, then I'll find the violation as charged. We'll impose prosecutorial costs in the amount of $250, and that should close out that one.
Your Honor, I just wanted to ask Mr. Yazzo one question. Do you have documentation in the file regarding notice of today's hearing for this matter?
Yes, I do. It was sent through, Your Honor.
Documentation regarding what now?
The documentation, that they were noticed properly that the hearing was happening today. They are out of country. They said they were going to try to have a representative, but they didn't know they'd make that happen. But they knew they were in compliance, and I did advise them of what we were going to be asking for with the court.
All right. They should be relatively pleased with the outcome. It's a good result.
And Your Honor, the next case that we're going to bring forward is also a compliance case, and the address is 4501-4509 Bay Beach Lane. It's a Royal Pelican Townhouse Condo Association. They've also come into compliance. Again, they were noticed properly as to the date of this, and I don't believe we have anybody in the audience from them today. No, again, and they were properly noticed as to the hearing, Your Honor. They've been made aware that we respect the fact that they came into compliance, but that we also be asking for the same violation sections with section 6-501, 6-525, and ASCE 24-14, and show that they were in violation as of January 6, 2025. And we're also asking for the court costs in the amount of $250 to cover same.
All right. So the same outcome, then I will make a final violation as to the matters charged in the notice, and we will impose prosecutorial costs in the amount of $250. That should close that one out as well.
Yes, sir. Now we come into cases that are not compliant at this time, but we do have representatives from all the people who are part of these. They're here to discuss their plans for moving forward. We've had some conversations with them prior to today. They were all noticed properly to be here for today. So I can go through full testimony again, Your Honor, as to what our issue are, and then let the respondent respond to my testimony, or we can have them come up first. It's up to you, sir.
Why don't we have, which one are we dealing with?
So now we're dealing with Moss Marina, 450 Harbor Court.
Just pull this up here.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you wanted us to finish.
And do we have anyone here for this owner?
We do, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and bring up the respondent then.
I know we have the burden.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Gary Foco. I'm the general
Say again?
manager.
If you could speak up just a bit.
You gotta speak right closer to the mic, Gary.
Gary Foco, F-O-C-O, last name. General manager of Moss Marina.
Okay. And before we hear from Officer Yazzo, are you all disputing the violations as charged in the notice?
I can't hear what he's saying.
He's asking if you're disputing the charges of the violation on
No.
its face.
No, I'm not disputing it.
Okay. Then let me ask Officer Yazzo if you could kind of give us a brief summary and get some context here, and then we'll hear from Mr. Foco and decide what to do.
All right, Your Honor, I'll go through the first part of the testimony. Again, my name is Officer Thomas Yazzo. I'm a Code Compliance Officer and the Emergency Services Director and Compliance Director for Town of Fort Myers Beach. As the Director of Emergency Services and Compliance Department, I'm responsible for the day-to-day operation of the Town of Fort Myers Beach Code Enforcement Department. I supervise Code Manager and 3 Code Compliance Officers. I review all code enforcement cases with them and have access to all available code enforcement files. In addition to that, since July 2024, I've personally been involved with the town's efforts to come into compliance with the floodplain regulations identified by FEMA, which are incorporated into the town ordinances. I've been sworn in and will provide testimony documentation regarding the violation in this case. During my testimony, I will periodically refer to exhibits in the agenda materials and request these materials be admitted into evidence and included as part of the record of this case. We are working on code enforcement case number 2025-0967. The subject property is located at 450 Bay Beach Court, Fort Myers Beach, Florida. On September 4th, 2024, we observed the shipping containers and a mobile office space on the subject property, which I determined to be non-compliant structures based on the floodplain regulations, inclusive of design codes required in a special flood hazard area, defined in Section 6-494 of the FMB Code of Ordinances. The subject property is located in the coastal VE zone, as identified in the latest floodplain map, and requires structures to have a base flood level elevation of 13 foot plus 1, which is 14 foot above sea level. I observed the non-compliant structure was not elevated, and to the best of my knowledge, did not have engineered plans for pilings, infrastructure, and breakaway. I then consulted with the floodplain manager, Kelly D. Federictis, who confirmed to me that the shipping containers and the mobile offices on the subject property were not compliant based upon my observation in violation of 6-501 and 6-525 of the Town Code of Ordinances. And the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE 24-14, which is incorporated by reference into the town codes. My review and consultation with the floodplain manager is consistent with FEMA's determination contained in their letters of July 19th, 2024, and November 12th, 2024. I can go further, Your Honor, to go through the violation and timeframes. We did, all the photographs are in the agenda. The respondent is not contesting the violation.
No, I think that's sufficient to give me the background. I'll receive the town's exhibits in evidence. And let me ask Mr. Falco, is there anything that you wanted to ask Officer Yazzo, or any additional information you'd like to provide? I understand you're not contesting the violation.
Right. I just want to give a background of what we've done so far.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So all the Connex boxes have been removed with the construction trailer still there. I discussed with Tom and Tracy Rasky to get oh shoot.
Your Honor, they do have a plan moving forward. They're going to remove the mobile office trailers within the next 2 weeks, is my understanding, correct?
I just need the permit to go into the other houses because our property got put into business district.
So,
And so we can move our plan is to move our operation into the 2 houses that are on the property and get rid of the trailer. As soon as I receive that permission to do so, for via permit or whatever, it'll take me probably 30 to 40 days to get everything completely off the property and the construction done to the houses to be workable.
And Officer Yazzo, that will bring the property into compliance?
as soon as they remove the office trailers, Your Honor, that'll bring the property fully into compliance. Right now, they're partially in compliance, which was noted with the affidavit of noncompliance in your agenda materials, that they had removed all the connexes and they had a plan forward to remove the office trailers.
All right, very good. What is the town seeking for a compliance date?
So I would go back to the compliance date that we're moving forward would be as soon as possible. 30 to 40 days is not going to work because we have deadlines that's coming up with FEMA. So we would ask them to be stressed a little bit farther than that. So I go back to the 2 weeks. I know that might be a reach for them, but we're going to do our best to help them as best we can. But we do have to show our compliance needs with our FEMA audit that we're working through right now.
So you're looking at a compliance date of, say, October the 15th?
I would go as far as to go to October the 19th. And I know that does present some challenges to people, but that's what we're asking from the town. Again, Your Honor, it's at your pleasure. You can decide what's fair and reasonable for them. But with our audit in process, we have to show that we are aggressively attempting to bring all these properties into compliance as soon as possible.
And our next hearing date is the 29th, correct? That's
Yes,
in
sir.
4 weeks?
Yes, sir.
And what's the town seeking for a per diem or a daily fine? in the event of noncompliance.
Yeah, in the event of noncompliance, we would search for the 250 a day at your pleasure, and we would also mostly ask for the court costs in the amount of $250.
So, Mr. Foco, here's what I'm going to do. The violation is not disputed, so I'll make a finding of violation as to the charges that are set forth in the notice. I'm going to set the compliance date to October 19th, which I realize, as Officer Yazzo has indicated, is pretty aggressive, but I do agree that for purposes of FEMA compliance, the town needs to move aggressively on this. What I'll do is reserve the immediate imposition of fines in the event of non-compliance by October 19th, but we'll review the status of this case on October 29th, which is our next hearing date, and we'll see where things are. Hopefully it'll be in compliance and we can move there. If not, we can decide what to do moving forward, which could include the imposition of fines, but we'll see what's been done by that point. Again, I would urge you to move with, all deliberate speed to get this resolved by the 19th, but we'll take another look at this on the 29th and consider the issue of fines if that's, something that needs to be considered based on ongoing noncompliance. And as indicated, at some point before we close the file, we'll be imposing the cost of prosecution of $250. But I think the immediate concern right now is to get the property in compliance. It sounds like you've made good efforts in that respect and are moving towards that goal, which is always good to hear. Let's try to keep a little bit of the pressure on to get this done and hopefully get it all resolved. But I'll have you back on the 29th if it hasn't been, brought into compliance by that time. We'll decide what to do from there. Do you have any questions, Mr. Foco?
Nope. No, sir.
Very good. Does town have anything further on this?
No, we're good, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks for coming in, Mr. Foco. You're free to go.
All right, Your Honor, we're moving on to the next case. When you're ready, we're going to move on to Estero Bay Improvement Association, Care of Resort Management. It's the address of 4400-4530 Bay Beach Lane, and they also have representatives here today. Their attorney for their association is here, and we've also had some conversation with them, and they understand that there was a violation, but I'll ask her to speak for herself, if she could, please.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Lisa Van Dien, V as in Victor, A-N, space D-I-E-N. One correction, Mr. Yazzo, I am general counsel for London Bay Development Group. So the Estero Bay Improvement Association owns the property, but we have a license agreement with them to have a sales trailer on the property. So that is, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't catch your last name.
Van Dien, V-A-N space D-I-E-N.
D-I...
E-N, as in Nancy.
Oh, Van Dien, okay.
Yes.
All right. And you're the general counsel?
For the occupant of the sales trailer. So the Estero Bay Improvement Association owns the real property. We have an agreement with them to use the property to have our sales trailer for sale of condominium units and a building down the road with them. So,
All right.
do you want me to continue on with our plan, or do you want to?
Your Honor, again, Your Honor, we've had conversation. They're looking to come into compliance. My understanding was very soon, within the date that we've put forward already. I can give the basics and the background on the property, Your Honor, as I did before, and move forward, or we can allow them to give their plan. It's up to you, sir.
Why don't, Officer Yazzo, if you just give me a brief summary, since it's not a dispute, but kind of give me a little bit of context, and then I can hear from the respondent as to what their plan is.
All right, Your Honor. Again, Officer Thomas Yazzo, Code Compliance Officer and Emergency Services Compliance Director for Town of Fort Myers Beach. This is Fort Myers Code Enforcement Case 2025-0876. The subject property is located at 4400-4530 Bay Beach Lane, Fort Myers Beach, 33931. On August 26, 2025, a mobile office structure was on the subject property. It was determined to be non-compliant. Again, I went through proper process with Section 6-494 of the FMB Code of Ordinances, did discuss this with the floodplain manager. She agreed that it was outside the scope concerning the letters of FEMA's determination for July 19th and 2024 and November 12th, 2024. I prepared the violation at that time. I took posting and photographs of it for August 26, 2025. They were given proper notice of the violation and proper notice for the hearing today. We subsequently had conversation with the leasee on the property, and they understood that they were in violation at that time, and they were going to come into compliance, Your Honor. Okay. And the photos for all of this start on page 9 of your documents, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll receive the town's exhibits and evidence, and let me go back then to respond to Ms. Van Deen or your, if you want to tell us what you all are doing.
Yes, so we did file a request to extend our occupancy of the sales trailer and leave it as it is. It was denied yesterday, I think, right, Wiley, or maybe the day before yesterday. So given that we are making arrangements to have the trailer removed, we believe we can do that by October 19th. The one issue I would like clarification from the town is we do have a concrete facade and steps that require demolition. I don't think those are part of this hearing, and that will take some extra time because we have to hire a demolition company, and I don't know if we have to have it permitted, but that's just, we do, so. Yeah, so the demolition of the concrete facade may take extra time, but the sales trailer, which is the non-compliant structure, we can have removed by October 19th.
The facade placed in placement, to my best of my understanding, is actually structurally sound. I believe that will withstand storm.
Yes.
So I would have to refer back to the floodplain manager at some point when we come to permitting for the demo side of it. But I don't have a problem with that. I understand that that's going to take a little longer, but the office trailer itself is the main issue.
Okay, yes, and that, like I said, we will have that removed by October 19th, I believe. My colleague, Wiley Parker, who's a senior project manager with London Bay, has already started the process this morning.
All right, so, again, I heard you say October the 19th. You believe you can have the trailer removed by that date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Officer Yazzo, if we set the compliance date to the 19th as in the previous case, that would be acceptable to the town?
Yes, sir.
All right, so, again, given that there isn't a dispute over the violations alleged, shall make the finding of violation based on the testimony and the evidence received. We'll go ahead and set the compliance date to October the 19th. And as in the previous case, let's go ahead and set this for a status review on October the 29th. If compliance has not been achieved by the 19th, we can have the respondent back in and get a status report as to where things are and decide what to do based on that. I would prospectively set the daily fine at $250 per day in the event compliance is not achieved, but I'm not going to reserve any ruling on fines at this point, and not make any further decision on that until the status review. If compliance is not achieved by the 19th, we can reassess that and decide whether or not fines would be appropriate at that time, again, depending on the circumstances. We'll be imposing the cost of prosecution in the amount of $250. Again, that will be assessed once we have the affidavit of compliance ready to close the file. Ms. Van Deen, do you all have any questions?
I do have just one additional question as far as notice and correspondence, because we're the occupant versus the property owner. Can we get added for all notices going forward? Because it did take a little while to make its way to us from the Estero Bay Improvement Association, so
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can talk after. And
Yeah,
figure out
before you leave,
times.
we can get your basic information for you as
Okay,
well.
excellent.
So we went through the tax assessor's office, that's why it went that
Understood,
way.
understood.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
and the EBIA now knows to send it to us, but it did take a little while to make its way to us, which
Very
was
well.
also part of the delay in responding.
Very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And just before we finish this one up, does the town have anything else on this matter?
No, Your Honor, we're satisfied with the course of action as it stands.
All right, very good. Thanks for coming in, Ms.
Thank-
Van Dien. You all free to go?
Thank you.
All right, Your Honor, moving forward, we're going to a property that's in our Times Square area. It's 1021 Estero Boulevard. It's the Bradford Joseph Benson Trust owns the property. There is a business on the property, Buffalo Grill. We do have representatives from the ownership of the property and the business that's on the property today. This is a little bit different than some of the others. It has some of the same FEMA liability to it, but it's not a structure that has been there that's a building or a rollout trailer or a connex. This was a constructed bar that was put in space. At the time, we did have conversation. FEMA changed their determination as to how that had to be removed. We did notify the business owner and the property owner via proper channels with due process. I can go through the beginning part of this for you, Your Honor, but we do have a representative here today too, if you'd like to meet them first before I go through the basic process in the background.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll bring up the respondents as well, so I know who's here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
My name is Fred Malone, Mallone, from the Buffalo Grill, 1021 Estero Boulevard.
Okay, Malone is Mallone?
That's correct.
Okay, 2 L's.
Correct.
Okay. I'll ask you to speak up a little bit. That mic is a little less.
Is that better? I moved it up.
That's much better, much better. And you are with the tenant, I guess, the Buffalo Grill?
That's correct. I'm the tenant. The owner's also
Page
here,
90.
and I'll be speaking on his
Okay, all right.
behalf, but I'm the tenant on the property. That's correct.
All right, and we'll hear a little bit more about the nature of the case here in just a moment. But before I get into the details of it, are you disputing the allegations in the notice of violation?
Not really, no.
Okay. I mean, it's fine if you are. I'm not trying to.
Well, no, I mean, I'm going to be in compliance. It's, the town kind of is handcuffed on this, so it's not really their fault, so no, I guess we're not
Okay.
disputing.
Well, let me ask Officer Yazoo then to give us kind of an overview. Probably don't need every small detail, but to kind of get an idea of what's going on here. It sounds like it's not in dispute.
So, Your Honor,
They start on page 9 of 36.
so if you look, I'm starting on page 9 in your agenda materials, you'll see of 37, you'll see the photos of the non-compliant structure. And to be fair, when the subjects came and they started building stuff, they did reach out to us. We went by best information that we had with FEMA at the time. We gave them some guidance as to what they needed to do to have it off the island. That guidance from FEMA was it was changed in some respect as to what their determinations were. So we did notify them through process, and they've been here today. They've already been in process of trying to come up with a way to fix this with the property owner and the business owner. So they're working towards compliance. It's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time, but we're still going to have to hold to our October 19th date as far as making this happen, because we don't really have a lot of options with that. And again, the structure was not a drop-in. It was constructed on site, but he did try to make it modular. There's some issues with the structure in its face, with the fact that it's not quick disconnect plumbing. It's affixed in certain manners. And to understand quick disconnect plumbing for any of these vehicles, it means it has to be done with your hand only. No tools can be allowed. So that's the FEMA regulation to that. They've been working with us. It has not been an adversarial issue with them for the most part, where they come through, we ask them what we need, and they've worked hard to try to come to that. This process was put in place because we needed to move it forward.
All right, and is the structure going to have to be removed, or is it going to be possible to?
Your Honor, it has to be removed fully from the property.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Malone, did you have any questions you want to add to this, or anything you want to tell me?
Well, yeah, I mean, Tom is correct. We did follow their direction because that was the direction they were given. So we did everything according to the town direction. Everything is actually quick disconnect. I can disconnect everything with my hand, but we understand that the town is handcuffed on this. So once we found out the new ruling and we were notified that it was not compliant anymore, we immediately set up a meeting with the town manager, town staff, told them our plan. Then we decided, okay, this is what we're going to do to move forward. We emailed the town manager on the 26th. We got a response saying, what we're going to do, Your Honor, is basically replace that with a compliant structure, which is a trailer, which is under permitting right now. We moved immediately because on the 26th, we got the okay. I have the invoice here. On the 29th, we purchased a new compliant structure that will replace our business. And we were just told, I believe it was at the end of the next week, we should have it by this next week. So the 19th would not really be too far-fetched for us to be in complete compliance with everything.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do then is, first I'll receive the town's exhibits into evidence, and based on the exhibits and the testimony, I'll make a finding of violation as to the charges and the notice. Again, those charges are not in dispute. And as with the previous cases, I'll go ahead and set the compliance date to October the 19th, with a status review on October the 29th to go forward in the event compliance is not achieved by the 19th. The daily fine for non-compliance would be $250 a day, but I'm going to withhold imposing that starting on the 20th until we've had the status review and can see what's happened. I'll decide at that time whether or not fines should be imposed, again, depending on what's happened, depending on the circumstances. So no immediate imposition of fines, but we'll leave that for another day. Again, depending on whether compliance is achieved or how much compliance has been achieved. And we'll be imposing the prosecutorial cost of $250 once we get the affidavit of compliance and we're ready to close the file. But again, the immediate concern is getting the property back into compliance, and hopefully you can get that done by or around the 19th, and things will be resolved before the 29th. But if not, we'll have you back in, and we'll see what's going on at the property at that time and decide what to do going forward from there. Do you have any questions, Mr. Malone?
No, Your Honor. My only question is, I mean, obviously we're totally all on board for being compliant. You said there would be a $250 fee?
Well, I'm saying that would be the per diem fine or the daily fine.
Oh, okay.
If the fine is imposed.
Okay.
I'm not imposing a fine right now. I'm just notifying you that would be the fine on, for consideration.
Okay.
It could start conceivably as early as the 20th, but again, based on what I'm hearing, I don't think that's likely, particularly since you told me you might be able to get it done, and you're certainly going to shoot for getting it done there. My intention isn't to, slap a fine on you if you're compliant on the 20th or 21st, but I do need a deadline to keep this moving forward, to keep the pressure on, so to speak, to make sure this does get. And but we'll see what's happened. Again, if it's still not in compliance on the 29th, we'll have you back. We'll see what's happened, and again, depending on the circumstances, I'll decide what to do. But if I did impose a fine, it would be in that amount. I'm not saying that's going to happen, just putting you on notice.
Sure, understood.
And just to be clear, Mr. Malone, there is a $250 admin fee. That's not something we could pass by. That's part of the procedures.
That would be the only fee I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to pay, but, because it's not really their fault and it's not my fault. It's, can we bill FEMA? Okay.
Probably not. All right, does the town need anything else on this one?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
All right, thank you for coming in, Mr. Malone.
Thank you.
You're free to go.
Thank you. Your Honor, we have one more case on for today. This would be Lemos Unlimited. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but I gave it best shot. 6875 Estero Boulevard. We do have representatives here again today for the same. This also is an office trailer, which is a non-compliant structure on its face. They have showed up. We've had some conversation with them. They do have a plan in process to try to work something out. They understand some of the restrictions that we have. I would ask them to come forward if they could, please. You need to be very clear when you define your name, please, so he can write it down.
Good morning. My name is Ruby Pessotti, Pessotti. I'm the owner of the property and also the owner of Interiors Unlimited, which is the business operating off of that property.
Okay. And just so clear, this is
And it-
Lemos Unlimited?
Yes, sir.
Is L-
Lemos Unlimited LLC.
Got it. All right, and Ms. Pasati, we'll hear from Officer Yazzo in just a moment, but before we do, let me just ask you up front, are you all disputing the allegations in the notice of violation?
To be honest, I'm not sure how to answer that question. I think, yes, I am disputing it because of, well, I'll explain more, but yes, I think I am disputing it.
Okay, that's fine. Let me ask Officer Yazzo then to go ahead and let's go through the materials in the exhibits.
Yes, sir. So, good morning, Your Honor. My name is Officer Thomas Yazzo. I'm a Code Compliance Officer, Emergency Services Compliance Director with the Town of Fort Myers Beach. As Director of Emergency Services Compliance Department, I am responsible for the day-to-day operation of the Town of Fort Myers Beach Code Enforcement Department. I supervise a code manager and 3 compliance officers. I review all code cases with them and have access to all available enforcement files. So today I also have with me Officer Marcio Chavez, who completed the first notice of violation at my direction. I have the background and all of that. He is here to testify if you'd like to hear from him, Your Honor, but I can proceed forward with the case because I had moved him towards this notice of violation for the respondent.
Yeah, why don't you proceed?
Okay. So we went through in addition, July 2024, I've personally been involved with the town's efforts to come into compliance with floodplain regulations identified by FEMA, which are incorporated in the town of Code of Ordinances. I've been sworn in and will provide testimony and documentation regarding the violation of this case. During my testimony, I will periodically refer to the exhibits and the agenda materials and request that these materials be admitted into evidence and included as part of the record of this case. This is Fort Myers Beach Code Enforcement Case number 20250655. The subject property is located at 6875 Estero Boulevard, Fort Myers Beach, Florida 33931. On July 29th, 2025, I observed the mobile office structure on the subject property, which I determined to be non-compliant structure based on current floodplain regulations, inclusive of design codes required in the special hazard flood area, as defined in Section 6-494 of the FMB Code of Ordinances. The subject property is located in a coastal AE with a partial part of it in the VE zone, as identified in the latest floodplain map, and requires a structure to have a base flood level elevation of 11 foot plus 1, which is 12 foot above sea level. I observed the shipping, well, it's not a shipping container, the office container was not elevated to the best of my knowledge, did not have engineered plans for pilings or infrastructure. I then consulted with the Fort Myers Beach floodplain manager, Ms. DeFederictis, who confirmed me that the office structure on the subject property was non-compliant based on my observation and a violation of Section 6-501 and 6-525 of the Town Code of Ordinance and the American Society of Civil Engineers 24-14, which is incorporated by reference to the town codes. My review and consultation is consistent with FEMA's determination contained in these letters of July 19th, 2024 and November 12th, 2024. We prepared a notice of violation, searched the Lee County Tax Collector and Property Appraisers database records containing property owner information, and further verified that the owner is Limos Unlimited LLC, based on a deed found in official records of Lee County, Florida. I issued the notice of violation in a notice hearing July 30th, 2025, and sent a copy of by certified mail to return receipt to the address of record, specifically 7205 Estero Boulevard, Suite 702, Fort Myers Beach, Florida 33931, and posted a copy of the notice of violation at the subject property and at the town hall located at 6231 Estero Boulevard, Fort Myers Beach. A copy of the notice was of violation, and the posting was evidence of ownership is labeled in Exhibit C in your packet. Notice of the information about the case is also displayed here at the town hall. Took photographs, which are also in your agenda materials, Your Honor, of the non-compliant structure and the notice of violation and posting observed on July 29, 2025. Also within that same Exhibit C. There are accurate and unaltered copies of these photographs during my inspections on that time and Officer Chavez's inspections as well. The photographs show that the non-compliant structure located in a coastal VE-AE zone is not elevated to the required feet above base flood level. In my notice, I gave Lemos Unlimited LLC until August 15, 2025 to remove the non-compliant structure from the property or to otherwise come into compliance with the town codes. We re-inspected the property on August 26th, and the subject was still not in compliance. It was in the same condition as previously observed. The property owner received a letter revoking, rescinding any possibility of temporary use permit. As a result of the property owner's failure to remove the shipping containers, the office space containers, are to bring the subject property into compliance with Section 6-501 and 6-525 of the town's Land Development Code as identified in the notice of violation. The property owner was provided a notice of today's code enforcement hearing with affidavit of notice and posting as shown in hearing Exhibit A. In advance of today's hearing, I inspected the property yesterday, September 30th, 2025, and took photograph of the non-compliant structure with which remains on the subject property in the same condition as I initially observed on July 29th, 2025. I'd like to add those photographs in the record and add them in the hearing Exhibit D, which are in your agenda packets, Your Honor. Your Honor, I also have today our floodplain manager here for this property. She can speak to all the intricacies to the floodplain issues and regulations.
All right, we'll bring up just one moment. Let me ask Ms. Passati, did you have any questions for Officer Yazzo before we bring the next witness?
I think you guys can proceed, and then I'll speak after.
You'll have to speak up just a bit. That mic's a little low.
Sorry, no, I think that they can proceed, and then I'll ask my questions and make my statement afterwards.
Okay, well, I mean, if you had any questions for Officer Yazzo, this would be the best time to ask them.
Okay, a couple of things. One, you noted that the condition was the same yesterday as it was 6 weeks ago. We did make efforts we removed the deck that was around, which would have prevented it from being, towed away in the event of a storm. So I just want to make note that we did make that effort to date. The other thing was, I think you mentioned that we received notice that we would be revoked from applying for an extension on the trailer permit.
It was a general letter across the town in 2024 that all temporary use permits were going to be revoked.
Oh, okay, so we didn't receive anything directly.
Everybody who had a temporary use permit was told that they were being revoked at that time.
Okay, just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
clarify that because I didn't recall seeing anything recently. So I think that's it for the time.
And to be very clear, Your Honor, she's correct. They did remove the front stairway space from the unit, but it does not take away from the fact that the unit itself is non-compliant.
Okay. Well, let's hear from the floodplain manager.
Good afternoon, Kelly DeFedericis, Town of Fort Myers Beach Floodplain Coordinator.
Let me get you sworn. Were you sworn in previously? I don't recall.
Not today, but
Do
I
you
have
swear,
been.
raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you state and spell your name for the record, please?
Kelly, Kelli, last name DE, F as in Frank, EDERICIS as in Sam.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, so really, I'm going to just repeat everything that Tom had already disclosed. So I guess I'm just up here to answer any questions of what maybe you want to dispute or why you think it should be able to be left there.
Okay.
So if you have any questions with regard to that, go ahead.
Sure. So we did propose, so we had a permit for our construction office. Your Honor, just for a little background, we own a remodeling company that has been operating on Fort Myers Beach since 1972. After hurricane.
Mr. Masagi, let me just stop you here
Sure.
just for a moment. And this is fine, you're kind of testifying. I'm going to go ahead and swear you in.
Okay.
And that's fine, I can kind of hear your testimony as well as your questions, but let's get it under oath if you would, please.
Sure.
If you raise your hand, one, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
And would you state your name again for the record?
Ruby Passati.
I know you spelled it earlier. Go ahead, you were
Sure.
asking a question, you were also telling me something about the background, which is fine. You go ahead.
Yeah. So we used to have a brick and mortar location, which we lost after Hurricane Ian. We immediately applied for the permit to place a temporary construction trailer to house our 7 employees so that they were not out of work, and also so that we could serve the local community in the rebuilding process. We did have a permit for the placement of that trailer. It was permit number 223500. We just received notice on August 5th that we were not in compliance. I know many other people had received notices last year and previous to this, so it was our understanding that since we never received violation until August of this year, that we were in compliance since our trailer is rated for hurricanes, it's fully insured. So it was a bit of a surprise when we received the violation notice this August. Our new building, which is on the property that our trailer is operating off of, is set to be open in December of this year. It will be our new showroom and office space. It currently is not ready for occupancy. It's still under construction, or I would very, very happily move out of the trailer that I've been in for 3 years now and into the building. We have a plan in place if there was an evacuation order. I've outlined that in my request to the town when I did the extension permit for the trailer. I can go through that if you'd like me to. I'm not sure if you have a copy of that or not.
A copy of what?
Our plan for evacuation.
I don't know if I do have that.
Your Honor,
Unless
that
you
is not
submitted
your
that-
documents.
Unless it's in the town's materials.
Okay. Sorry. I have one here. Yeah.
Would you like to put that into the evidence
Sure.
for the judge?
Yeah. Do you need it? What? I don't know how that works. I can go over it as well. Okay.
Your Honor, that is part of their extension permit. It has not been added into your agenda materials because it's a non-compliant structure on its face. So we will have that sent over to you so
This is
you
a
can
plan
see
that you
that.
have for evacuating the office trailer in the event of a hurricane?
That's correct. It was my understanding that we had 3 options to come into compliance. Number 1, remove the structure. 2, raise above flood elevation. Or 3, show the following. And part of that was the evacuation plan. So I submitted that. I guess you're getting a copy of that now. We would, like I said, love to be out of the trailer and into our permanent space. It's unfortunately not the reality. I think if we hadn't been hit by Hurricane Milton and Helene, we would have been right on track moving into the new building right about now. But we got about a 2-month setback from that as it happened during construction and washed out our building site. I understand the position that the town is in and that, it's not to flood elevation, which is why I'm putting forth the evacuation plan. We would be able to remove it safely and in a timely manner if there was an evacuation order.
All right, let me ask our floodplain manager here. I understand compliance being achieved by removing the office trailer or possibly raising it above the base flood elevation. Is compliance via evacuation plan an option? I don't recall hearing that before, but so I'd like to know more about that.
So with regard to the evacuation plans, those are set in place for mobile ready trailers where you can just hitch it up to a small vehicle, a small truck, and take it off. That is a trailer and probably needs a semi-truck to remove it. I'm not a professional to know that, but it cannot be moved with a light-duty truck, and that is what the requirement is for those types of temporary trailers.
If I may, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
So it's a leased trailer through a company called Mobile Modular. It's a monthly lease, and part of that lease agreement is that if they have 48 to 72 hours of notice, they will come and remove the trailer for us.
It has to be disconnected within 4 hours. So,
Disconnected or
yeah,
removed?
just start the disconnection and everything needs to be done within the 4 hours and then removed off the island. So the 72 hours it's not a timely fashion.
So if it's a disconnect within 4 hours, that would be manageable?
And then you have it removed off the island in that amount of time. So yeah, so the
Within
72
4 hours?
hours. What is the time frame, 4 hours?
I've never seen that stated
Yeah,
anywhere.
so 72 hours is not a timely manner because that's usually when everybody is off the island by 72 hours and we're getting ready and preparing for the storm.
Yeah, I've never seen anywhere stated 4 hours. Is that?
That's just the guidelines from FEMA, but yeah, we can go ahead and get that sent over as well.
Okay.
It's in FEMA's publications.
Yeah, I don't
Is
see
it-
anyone moving within 4 hours of anything, but that's,
Well, they have the smaller trailers, and so they're able to hitch them up to like a F-350, a small light-duty truck, so they are disconnected via hand. They don't need any machinery or any tools to disconnect them, so yeah, they are.
okay. So we do, as part of our business fleet, we have 3 heavy-duty vehicles that could.
Well, light-duty trucks, they're light-duty trucks, that's the definition, so.
Okay.
What's do you know offhand the FEMA regulation that speaks to that?
I
just
have,
don't,
for the definition of a light-duty truck or the requirements.
the requirements.
So I do have a documentation that gives description of exactly FEMA's requirements. It's just the white paper that they've written. I can send that over as well, but I do have that, yes.
All right. And Ms. Pasati, did you have any other questions? Or did you want to give further testimony? Either one is fine.
No, I mean, really, we're just asking for a little more time to get into our permanent structure so that we don't have to send, the 8 people who are currently employed out of their home for the next 3 months. But, we're trying to do everything that we can, but it's, a tricky situation. We've put as much thought into the evacuation plan as possible. As I mentioned, our business fleet does have 3 vehicles that are able to pull that trailer if the company that we lease it from, if that doesn't meet the standard. So, we have a good plan in place. I do feel like we could carry it out, but it's ultimately up to you, I suppose,
Well, your goal is ultimately to have the office trailer removed because you will, in the end, be moving into the permanent structure that's under construction?
That's correct. Yeah, we've been under construction for about 1.5 years now, and we are getting close to finishing. Our projected move-in date is in December.
All right. Okay, did you have any other questions then for Mr. Federici's?
I don't believe so. Thank you.
Anything else you want to testify about?
No.
Okay. Does town have anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. We wanted to clarify, because there's been reference made to several permits, so the town would like to call one more witness, Tracy Rasky.
Okay. There she is.
Up here. Yeah, I believe she needs to be sworn in.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning.
Good
If you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you state your full name for us?
It's
please?
Tracy, Tracie, Raski, Raski, Magistrate
Yes.
Coordinator.
So, Your Honor, I would just like to ask Ms. Rasky a few questions for clarification of, in the record, some reference that has been made to various permits. Ms. Rasky, what is your title is Special Magistrate Coordinator, and what does that job entail? What do you do?
So I submit all the documents
You
for,
have to speak into the mic.
I submit all the documents for Magistrate Court, and then I also go back and double check dates. I look at permits, I look at all documentation.
Do you, on a daily basis, work with the town's permitting software record keeping on permits?
Yes, I do, I works.
Okay, and there was testimony today regarding a permit number 223500.
That is correct?
Are you familiar with that permit?
Yes.
Could you please tell the court the nature of that permit, what type of permit it is, and its current status?
So permit 223500 was a temporary use permit that was applied for, and it was issued on November 26th of 2022. They asked for a year, so the permit ended on November 26th of 2023, and it was finalized.
Are you familiar with recent action by the town of Fort Myers Beach Town Council to extend temporary placement permits? Are you familiar with that process?
Yes.
And is one of the requirements, what are the requirements for submission of an extension?
You have to have an active permit, and the trailer must be road ready and be able to be pulled with a light duty truck.
Okay, and just to clarify again, your existing temporary placement permit has to be active, is that correct?
That is correct.
And again, just to clarify your testimony, does the property owner have an active permit at this time?
No, she does not.
And do you know if she applied for an extension?
I don't see one. That doesn't mean that there might not be one, but it hasn't been uploaded into the system.
So based on your experience and your knowledge of this extension program, would she be eligible for one?
No, she would not.
Okay, thank you. If there's questions, hold up if she has questions.
Ms. Posada, do you have any questions for Ms. Rasky?
We did submit an extension permit, and I spoke with the town manager who told me that it would be denied.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And do you have any questions, Ms. Posada?
No.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Ms. Rasky.
Your Honor, with that testimony, we would move forward again as we have in past cases. Ms. Posada, do you have any more questions for me?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, we're moving forward based on sworn testimony evidence that has been presented to you, including the exhibits in the agenda packet. The town is asking for an order finding a violation of section 6-501, 6-525, and ASCE 24-14 as of November 19th, 2024. We would like to move forward this as we have in past these cases. We would ask that the shipping container the office trailer be removed by the 19th of this month, and they get that done within that time frame. We would also ask that there be imposed a fine of $250 per day. The violation remains in effect past the order of compliance, again, at your pleasure to be reasonable, Your Honor, and court costs in the amount of $250.
Ms. Posada, any response?
I mean, I would like more time just so that I don't have anywhere to send everyone for the next, couple months. If I could even get 60 days, maybe the building would be ready at that point where I could, move people in while still setting up, desks and displays and that type of thing prior to being ready to open for business. But at least I wouldn't be sending people home.
All right, Ms. Posada, well, here's what I'm gonna do. It's consistent with the previous cases that we've heard today. I'll receive the town's exhibits in evidence, and based on the exhibits and the testimony, I'll make a finding of violation as to the charges set forth in the notice. I'm going to set the compliance date as requested, October 19th. Coming up fairly soon, and I understand that you want and need more time, but I do want to have an accelerated compliance date so that we can make sure that the town is straight with FEMA. I don't want to start imposing fines immediately on October 20th until I've heard again from you as to where things stand. I'm not entirely certain right now as to whether that evacuation plan you mentioned is a viable path to compliance. It sounds like the town is at least skeptical of that. I haven't studied the FEMA requirements and guidelines or the particulars, so I'm not in a position at the moment to say, well, that would bring you into compliance or not. I acknowledge the town does appear skeptical, but if that were a means that you chose to come into compliance and the town decided it was not compliant and there was a dispute, we could potentially take that issue up and look at it in greater detail. Obviously, removing the office trailer or elevating it would be other ways of coming into compliance that would probably do the trick. But compliance issues, at least at this juncture, are outside of the scope of my decision. I'm not deciding right now what achieves compliance. The town would decide if you're in compliance or not. So I don't know if that plan is a viable option. I mean, again, I would have to look at that in greater detail. But I am going to set the case for a status review like the others on our next hearing date, October 29th, so I can see where things stand and reassess the question, among other things, of fines, and decide where to go from there. So I'm withholding any immediate imposition of fines. If I did impose a per diem fine, it would be at $250 a day. It could start as early as October 20th if you're not compliant by the 19th, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'd probably hear from you again on the 29th before making a decision what to do on that. But I do want to try to keep this moving forward. I understand that puts a lot of pressure on you, and it is difficult, particularly with your permanent structure and its completion coming into view. But there are other factors, at play here as well, and it's been out of compliance for a while. So again, we'll have a compliance date of October the 19th, status review on October the 29th to consider the circumstances as they stand then, if compliance has not been achieved before that date. And I'll decide what to do going forward from there, which could involve the imposition of fines. At some point, when the property's in compliance and we get the affidavit and we close the file, we'll be imposing costs of prosecution of $250. But that's another matter that will be finalized on a future date. Do you have any questions, Ms. Passati?
Am I going to hear from the town whether our evacuation plan would be acceptable, or is that already a decision that's been made?
I mean, again, it sounds like the town is very skeptical about it. I don't know to what extent you presented it formally as a means of compliance, and whether it's been officially rejected. All I'm saying is I'm not deciding right now whether that would achieve compliance or not. I think the town needs to make that decision in the first instance, and if you're in dispute about it, it's something I could review in greater detail. Again, I haven't seen the FEMA requirements, or at least I don't recall them offhand, and I haven't seen your plan yet either. Obviously, I heard the same testimony that everyone else did about the issue of whether it can be pulled off in time, the amount of time, and whether it can be pulled off with the kind of vehicle that might be required, light duty versus, something heavier duty. But again, I don't have right now in front of me all the details about that, so I can't say that would bring you into compliance. I can't say that it definitively would not. I can say that the town has expressed the likelihood that it would not bring you into compliance, but I'm not deciding that right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And,
Any other?
Your Honor, and with full fairness in mind, we will go through her plan again, and we'll give her defined definitions with paperwork to support, letting her understand the plan itself is deficient on its face because it needs a light-duty truck. There's timing issues, but we will fully go over that with the floodplain manager. The town manager, again, will have part of that process because ultimately his decision is the final for the extensions for any permitting.
Okay,
Very good. Anything else, Ms. Posada?
that's all. Thank you.
Does the town have anything on this one?
I'm sorry, say again, Your Honor?
Does the town have anything else on this one?
No, Your Honor, we're happy
Anything?
with moving forward with the conclusion where we're at with the proposed order. I would say that's the end of our new litigation today. We're ready to close down whenever you are, sir.
Do we have nothing else to present today?
No, sir. We're going to be moving forward some stuff on the 29th, which will also be a heavy calendar.
All right. Let me just look at the calendar here. We've got the 29th, and then is our next one after that? December 4th, or do we have one in between? I'm just making sure my calendar's correct here. We've got
It's
October 29th.
November, what was it?
November. It's November 4th, it's one after the 29th? Oh, no, it's December.
No, we have a November date as well, Your
It will
Honor.
be November 5th.
Let's see, we got October 29th. We have November 5th, did you say?
Yes, Your Honor, Wednesday, November 5th.
I got it, you're right, I'm seeing it there.
And Your Honor, just a quick reminder, the 29th was set up as a special extra day for the month so we could move forward with non-compliant structures as a whole and hear other cases that are part of our FEMA audit. So that's why it's going to be a pretty heavy calendar. And that's not just non-compliant structures, that's also going to be work without permits. There's going to be an extensive plethora of different types of cases for that.
Okay. That's what, all right, got it. All right, very good. Let's see, before we adjourn, if I could ask the town, we had 3 cases under the new violation cases that were addressed at the outset where they were in compliance. If you all could submit to me proposed orders on those 3, I'll draft up from scratch the other 4 where they were where they were not in compliance. And we heard those cases, but for the ones that were in compliance, if you could send me a proposed order, those are pretty straightforward. We'll get those
Yes, sir.
closed out.
The magistrate coordinators will get those squared away and sent out to you as soon as possible.
All right, is there anything else we need to attend to?
That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. No, we don't have any other items. We appreciate you, and again, we're happy to be in this new building.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. I will see you on the 29th of October next, and we're adjourned. Thanks a lot. See you next time.